welcome to Truth Talk Tarot. Let's dive in and see what message wants to come out today for us. What do we need to explore today, Spirit? So we start out in our first position, which is the mask position, is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card about apathy, about maybe not having opportunities that maybe we're not seeing, or we're turning our back to, closing ourselves off to opportunities in our life that are being presented to us. A lot of times it can be, especially you see this little guy, he's got his arms crossed, like we can make ourselves feel a little bit like sometimes we get in our own way. Let me put it that way. Sometimes we're really bad about getting in our own way. So that's our wave position. Let's see if we can go ahead and yeah, why not? We'll use the Spirit Song. We'll use Spirit Song Tarot. Get a card of clarification. Can you clarify for us what this Four of Cups means? What does it mean for our mask? What does it mean for us? Why are we here? This is basically the mask position is why we are here. So to clarify this, we have the Lover's card, a choice, trust. So I feel like there might be something at this time that we need to, and this has actually came out, this has been a theme that's been coming out. I've been noticing over the last several days that there might be something we need to look at, and even though it's the Lover's card, and I think this came out in one of the other readings, but in a different position, actually as one of the positions versus clarification, but it's all about a choice. And I like that this actually says trust and choice. And I like that it has these two wolves, because wolves, even though they're pack animals, I believe they do mate for life. So it's making a decision. There might be a big decision that we need to make at this time, but the fact that, what we're here to talk about is maybe we're not making that choice. Maybe for whatever reason, there might be something that is keeping us from making that choice. It could be that we're a little bit, getting in our own way, so to speak. But we'll uncover more as we go along here. Oh, that's the wrong tarot deck. So we'll go ahead and go on to our next position. In position number 2, position number 2 is the mirror position. The mirror position is all about basically what the world is showing us right now that we need to look at. We got the Two of Cups. That's Two of Cups. We have the Two of Cups in the mirror position. So that's all about partnerships, partnering with something. Yes, it does have two women on this card, but that doesn't mean that it has to be romantic. Now, there is the Lovers that came out as clarification. So this definitely could be around a romantic situation, that there could be a choice that you need to make either in partners, or maybe there's some kind of decision around a partner. Maybe you're married and thinking about divorce, or maybe you're considering getting in a relationship or marrying someone, or going to the next level with them, and there's a decision around that needs to be made at this time. And so this is maybe kind of spelling out what's keeping us from making that decision. What's keeping us stuck? We had the Four of Cups here. What's keeping us stuck from making that decision? Because I feel like right now we're not wanting to make a decision. If this reading is resonating for you, you're somebody that needs to make a decision, but for whatever reason, you're not making that decision right now. So I feel like that's really the heart of the message. This isn't a love reading though. So, it doesn't have to be around love or a romantic situation. This can be friendship. This can also be a job or a partner in business. We partner with a lot of things. It's about committing to something. Going back to the choice, it's about making choices or choosing something for ourselves to partner with something. And because that could be as simple as getting involved, like signing a contract, becoming a roommate with somebody. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be financially. There's all different reasons that can come about. Yeah, let's go ahead and get a clarification on that as well. I feel like one's needed. But is this the deck? Yeah, I think I do want to use the Spirit Song deck still. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, energy results. The Eight of Pentacles. So this is all about putting in the work, putting in the effort. The Eight of Pentacles is all about that. So I really feel like, no, this is fire. Wait a minute. Now I got to double check, because I think acorns are fire. Now that I think about it, I think that they're fire in this deck. Let me double check. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Acorns. I see acorns. I see you. I see you. It says right here, the Ace of Wands, but what does it say? I thought it said in here what each one was. I thought I could have. Where? The Lovers card keeps hopping out. There it is. I knew it was somewhere in this book that said. Yes, Wands. Yes, it's fire. I had a feeling. But since love keeps popping out here, it's literally popped to the page like about 4 times, I think it was, when I was thumbing through the book. We have the choice and trust. The fiercely loyal wolf walks through life with confidence and endurance. He brings faith and intuition to all forms of love, communicative and affectionate. Wolf trusts in the power of love and in the bonds of companionship. And then we had the Two of Cups coming out here. His primal howl is an expression of living life with passion and desire for connecting to something. The Two of Cups, connecting with something. He finds strength in unity, the Two of Cups, while also maintaining his independence. Wolf lends his discipline and harmony in relationship building and decision making. He urges you to sing the song of your heart's essence. Tune into your inner voice for guidance, though through this you will access the wisdom needed in making the best choice. So it really is about making a choice kind of from the heart, but also kind of having the confidence to know that the confidence in your decision, that you're making the right decision for yourself, to still stand strong in your individuality in whatever that is. So maybe there was a little bit, you could be someone that is afraid of losing yourself in a relationship. And that's why maybe you're not making the decision, because I really feel like from our first position, this is all about someone who's not wanting to make a decision. So now that we clarified that this is the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is all about very fast action and fast moving. Well, we have, I think that to me, this looks like an eel on that card. So eels are slippery. They're hard to grasp hold of. Maybe you feel at this time that you're having a hard time grasping something, that it keeps slipping out of your hands. I don't know why that's coming through, but that's what's coming through on that. But I really like that I did read that entry from the book, because it kept putting the Lovers and the Two of Cups almost together, because the Two of Cups definitely talks about some kind of, like companionship, unity. It's unity uniting with something, in relationships. So I really, really like that. So that's what's being reflected back to us at this time, is a need to, there's a situation in your life that maybe you're thinking about joining forces with somebody in your life, whether that's as, like I said, financially as a roommate, or if it's for romantic reasons, or a partnership, for some kind of work or something like that. It could be a lot of different things that we're reasons why we're uniting. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to necessarily be for love. So in our next position is the Flame position. Oh, And in the flame position, this has come out in the same position like 2 or 3 days now. Like, I don't think every single day. I think there was a couple days, like a space in between. But we have the Emperor coming out here in the flame position number 3. And 3 is all, the flame position is all about what is kind of, pushing its way to the surface, what is actually causing us to for whatever the driving force behind what it is that we're here for today. And so with it being the Emperor again, it's like it can be a very stubborn energy. And so I feel like, with this guy sitting there, like almost looking like he's pouting with his arms crossed and everything, that can be a very, upside down Emperor can be that way. They can be somebody that can be very stubborn, can be very prideful, can be very get in their own way-ish. So it doesn't surprise me that, that this is coming out either when we're talking about, when the first card out of the gate is somebody that looks like they're not wanting, they're wanting to do what they want to do. They're purposely choosing not to make a choice. Whatever that decision is that they're needing to make, whether that's you or someone around you, whatever brought you to the reading. It could have been the thumbnail print. It could have been the question, that I posed in the title. Whatever brought you here, just know you're here for a reason. So don't feel bad if you are someone that sometimes when you have to make a choice of somebody, maybe if you're forced to make a choice, you get a little bit stuck, where you get a little bit in your own way on making choices. I've even done that at times. I mean, I know I've been guilty of getting on my high horse or being too proud or too stubborn to do something. So don't feel bad if that's you, because we've all been there. It's something. So don't think you're the odd person out for feeling that way. We've all done it in our lives. We're all people that have at some point or another, stood in our own way and got in our pride and ego and about something, that we had to do that we didn't want to do, So let's go ahead and give me a clarification on this Emperor card. We have the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Cups. Give me one more on this Emperor. Why is this Emperor here? Why is this coming up for us? What is igniting us, or what is bringing this up at this time? Why are we pushed to look at this right now? What's the driving factor behind looking at this? We have the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. The 8 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. So if this is dealing with a person and potentially a romantic relationship, because I'm not going to say it's not, because it possibly could be with everything that is coming out on this table. There could be something that in the way that's influencing it. There could be some distractions going on that are making that decision hard for you at this time. Because this 8 of Cups is telling me there's something you need to walk away from, and with the 3 of Cups is saying that there's something interfering within making that decision. So that tells me that a third energy is in the mix that is causing, that needs to go away. And maybe that's what we're having a hard time letting go of something at this time to make this decision. Maybe it's kind of like wanting your cake and eating it too kind of energy, that you don't want to give up something to move towards something else at this time. That's a hard choice, because you have to give up one thing to have this other thing. Although you need to make the decision, you have to pick one or the other. But sometimes we don't want to. We want the best of both worlds, and we want to enjoy both. But this is telling me right here that there's a decision that needs to be made, and there's something that we might need to walk away from at this time that we're holding on to and not letting go of. But it's causing friction. It's causing, sometimes not making a choice is a choice. Sometimes that can be the choice, because the choice will be made for you then. That's the chance you make. And sometimes you don't want the choice to be made by the universe, because it may not be the choice that you would have made for yourself if you would have chosen ahead of time. So sometimes it ends up, that you're trying to get the best of both worlds, and you end up with the best of nothing world. So we have to be careful of that. So let's go ahead and move into our next position here. Our next position, which is position number 4. That's a little, card started to flip, but then it didn't. So let's keep going. Oh, that's the one. Is that, nope, that's the one. Wants that one. Okay. Okay, so position number 4 is our boundary position. And in that we have this, is the 9? Yes, the 9 of Swords. I had a hard time reading that. It's up there. Can you even see that? Like, look how hard that is to read, that's a 9. I didn't want to count the swords. I thought it was the 10 of Swords at first, and that's why I had to double take the number. So the 9 of Swords. So this person definitely, 9 of Swords is usually the card of being, like, well, 8 can be up in your head, but 9 is even, it's more stressed out about something. It's really mental. You're really, really going over and over something. Not surprising that this would come out in our boundary position when we're talking about something that we need to make a decision about that we're not making a decision about. So this doesn't really surprise me, because the boundary position is all about the things that are draining us, that are holding us back, that are keeping us from moving forward and saying yes to the thing that we need to say yes to at this time. So this doesn't surprise me at all that this would be the card in this position, because that tells me that, there's what do we need to put an end to? We need to put an end to going up in our head and being in our head and not making the decision we need to make, especially when we had clarifying the first card being that Lover's card of saying, with the 2 wolves that said, something about the fact that we need to make it from the heart. The choice needs to kind of be made from the heart. We need to, it's not something that should be a mental decision. It should be, what makes you feel the best. Go with the decision that makes you feel the best. That feels the best to you, that feels right for you at this time. I'm getting, and I don't know why, but I'm getting to pull the Beast Soul for clarification on that. I'm going to pull at least one. I'm feeling 1, but we'll see what happens. So hardworking bee, work ethic, community, drive. You have the power to realize your dreams. So if for whatever reason, I'm sorry if I'm hitting the mic. It's just that the air is like blowing my hair in my face. But if for whatever reason, maybe you're using distraction, busy as a bee, you're distracting yourself from making the decision, using things in your life to distract you from this decision because you don't want to be up in your head. So that's what I'm getting here, is maybe that's for maybe some of you, maybe a lot of you, that you might be doing things at this time to not think about the decision that you need to make, distracting yourself. But it says have the power to realize your dreams. So in that, I really feel like it goes back to, go make the choice. If you have a choice to make that you're not making, do the one, follow your heart and go after the thing that you want the most, or that you feel the most aligned with, that you feel is right for you, that you desire, whatever it is that you desire that's motivating you. Be this emperor, stand up and take action for what it is you want. The emperor will not, he's going to stand strong, and he's going to do whatever he feels like doing. He's going to take charge of the situation and take some action and do what needs to be done. And so that with that energy coming through in the flame position, so there's this desire in you that knows you need to make this choice, but at the same time, you're also kind of getting in your own way for making it for whatever reason that is. But I think that we've kind of brought up in this reading some of the reasons that might be. And so hopefully this is helping you in some way. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go on to the 5th position. Our 5th position is the wave position. The wave position. So we have the 10 of Cups in the wave position. Always good to see in our emotional truth, the position for our emotional truth, we have a card of Cups, which Cups is all about emotions. And we have, this is one of the bigger cards of Cups that we can have. It is the biggest card we can have in the minor arcana when it comes to Cups, and it comes to our emotions. And so I really feel like, with this coming in the synergy, what do we need to feel at this time? We need to understand what is important to us. We need to understand what we're feeling. Again, it comes back to everything that I've just been kind of saying, that the choice that you need to make needs to come from the heart. It needs to come from a place of what feels the best. Because look at these people, look how happy they are, their family, they're holding their children, and they're, there's a lot of love in that picture, a lot of love, in that picture. So if it is a matter of the heart and it's a matter of love, of relationship, and maybe you've got to choose between a couple people, or maybe you got to give up a lifestyle to go after, maybe you've been single for a long time and you're thinking about being in a relationship with somebody, and you have to give up your singlehood, and that's a hard thing for you to do. So there's this like push-pull energy that's coming out, because you want to, you want to be in a relationship, but at the same time, you might have to give up your independence. But and that was actually came up in that first card with the Lover's card. There was something about that, about your he finds strength in unity while also maintaining his independence. So if that's the reason why you're not making a decision, this is here to say that you can still have your independence within a relationship if you make the right choice for yourself, but it has to be that choice that feels right. That's why it needs to be not logic, it needs to feel right for you. And make sure it, like whoever you're partnering up with, whether that be a roommate or a partner in business or whatever, that your heart is in it, that you feel like it's the right decision for you to make. Because by doing that, you'll still maintain your own independence, because you're doing that out of an independent place of making that choice for yourself, because that's something that you want, and it's just going to lead to better results that way. So what deck do I want to use? Use. What do we want to use? I think I'm going to go back to the Spirit Song deck. No. Yes, we are. So give me a card of clarification on this Ten of Cups, please. Give me a card of clarification on this Cups and what we need to feel. Clarify what we need to feel at this time. So we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, it was the main card that came out yesterday, I believe, as the primary card. So interesting enough, this has got it's got a praying mantis on it. Well, this is a really weird analogy. I don't know why it came to my head, but I'm going to say it because it's really weird. You're going to be thinking like, oh my gosh, what the things that come in her head. Okay, but that's okay. So the first thing I saw when I saw this praying mantis is, praying mantis, after they mate, they eat the head off of their partner. And then I was thinking, that is getting rid of something. We have to get rid of something to have what we want. And it came back to that letting go, that there's something that needs to be, there's an interference in the mix. There's something that's making it hard for you to make the decision. So there's something that needs to be, severed. And that's what I was thinking, like the severing of the head, like they eat the head or whatever it is. It basically, it's basically a severing, and that was the first thing that came in mind. So there's this need to sever something out of your life to get rid of something that can't go forward with you at this time, if you want to have, more happiness. And I think, the only thing that if this is resonating with you in any way, I think the reason it's resonating with you is because right now, you're feeling this energy. You're feeling, this kind of energy where you're stressing out about this decision that needs to be made. Maybe it's also causing, certain feelings of shame, of guilt, resentment, things like that might be coming up, frustration at yourself, at the situation, that you're in the situation, that you have to make this choice, that you're feeling all these feelings and feeling all these things, but they're not good feelings. And I think that's because you're not making the choice, and I think that's what is coming up at this time for us to reveal or to unfold at this time is this need for this choice. Okay, so final card, final position is our permission position. get one card on this final position. So the permission position is ultimately, you know, what do we need to say yes to, or what do we need to do at this time? What do we need to take action on? You know, it's kind of the card of action, or wrapping it all up of what do we do about all this now that we understand, you know, that we're not making a choice. Why are we not making the choice? We're not making the choice because maybe we don't want to give something up at this time, that we might want the best of both worlds, or we want our cake and eat it too. We want everything to stay. We don't want to let go. There's lots of reasons why we don't want to let go of something. It can stem from a lot of different things. But I don't want to get into that because there is a lot that can speak to. And, but for this final position, and this has actually come out, I think this came out in this position in one of the readings just in the last, like, I don't know, maybe 3-4 days ago. I can't remember. We have the Four of Wands coming out in this final position. So when we're looking at, you know, what do we need to take action on? Look at this. It's a couple having fun, celebrating together. Exactly. It goes right back and wraps back around to these two wolves that are united as a partnership, having fun together, you know, doing things together, having fun together. You know, maybe that's what it amounts to. Maybe, you know, if it is a romantic partner, of having more fun together, or, but it is a card, again, it's kind of a card of celebration and unity. And we kind of had that mimicked back to us in the clarification on the Emperor card of that Three of Cups energy as well, which is also a card of celebration. We have the Two of Cups. It's all, there's so many things about uniting with something, you know, like having some kind of, you know, unity with something in your life. I feel like this is, with it being this message coming over and over again, compounded, it's probably a big decision that needs to be made. Especially if you're having a hard time making it. It obviously definitely isn't easy, or you would have been making it. If it's you know, we don't have any problem making decisions that are easy, but this might be a life-changing thing for you. You know, you go into partnership, like a business partnership with somebody, and you invest your money and things go south. Well, you could be out, you know, a whole bunch of money. If you decide to get in a relationship with somebody and it goes south, you know, you have a chance of breaking your heart, you know, your heart being broken, or things going south, and you lose that person in the process. But we also have to keep in mind that if we don't act on those things, then those are opportunities that can be missed, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the result's going to be. We are only going to find out what the result is going to be by making that choice and putting ourselves in the situation and actually living through it. And then we'll know what the result will be in the end. And only through that, making the choice and doing it, are we going to know that. So we can try and foreshadow and guess, play the guessing game all that we want. Yeah, there are certain things that we might have a better idea of, maybe if something's going to be good for us or not, but that's where I feel like, you know, where it comes back to, you know, the message, the kind of underlying message of, you know, that you kind of have to use your heart to make this decision, go after what it is the choice that feels right for you. You know, instead of just not making a choice because it's hard for whatever reason, just, you know, make a choice with confidence. That Emperor coming through, make it from a place of confidence to make whatever decision is meant to be made for you at this time. So we had two cards that just dropped out when I started to shuffle. So for this, we have the Naughty Otter and the Wise Owl. The Naughty Otter and the Wise Owl. What interesting energies to come out for this. So it's funny because that owl, to me, I look at that owl's eyes, and that was the first thing that caught my eyes, is he looks like he's being a little judgmental, like he's kind of looking over going, what the heck are you doing over there? Like, you know, like, what do you think you're doing? But we have wisdom, perception, discipline, and then the Naughty Otter, it says positivity, imagination, and playfulness. We have this playfulness that came out with the, when we talked about the wolf card that was in the reading for the wolf card, the lovers card that had the two wolves on it. And there was something that came up. Oh, I said something about playfulness in this 10 of Cups as well. There's this need to kind of have fun. You celebrate. There's this celebration theme that comes through, this playfulness that needs to happen. Maybe you're somebody right now that you're having a hard time making this choice because you're so serious about it, or maybe being so serious about it, or maybe trying to ignore it so much that you're forgetting that you're letting that take away from just enjoying whatever it is, being in the moment, enjoying whatever it is that that you're stressing out about making a choice about, instead of just enjoying whatever it is. Sometimes we can get caught in that trap where, since we don't want to make a decision, we also might keep it at a distance because we don't want to make a decision. So it's easier not to face it, whatever that is, because then we might have to make that decision instead of just enjoying whatever it is, whatever that is in the moment. And it kind of goes back to, the wise old owl, it kind of goes back to what I said about that, you can think all these things all you want, but unless you just jump on these opportunities and experience them, you're not going to know whether that's going to be right or wrong, good or bad. Everything has its pluses or minuses in it. Everything. I don't care what choice you make, there's going to be good and bad in every choice. So make the choice that feels right, but you have to make the choice, because if you don't make a choice, the choice will be made for you, and it may not be the choice that you would have chosen for yourself if you would have went ahead and done it before the opportunity passed you by. So I feel like these were the messages that wanted to come out today. One quick thing, if you really like this reading, if you want to know a little bit more, or dive deeper into uncovering the reasons why you may do the things that you do, I have this book that I wrote, We Are Not What We've Been Taught. You're welcome to check that out. The link to it is in the description for you. It's also on my channel. I thank you so very much. I wish you the best. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.